Welcome to JB's video blog. We've got a lot to get into, so let's jump right into it, shall we? Let's have a recap of week 2. Let's start off with a big FU. That's going to go to none other than Eli Manning. Congratulations. Way to drop an egg out there against your brother, huh? You did not look good at all. You looked pretty pathetic, actually, in front of your family. Good thing Cooper stayed at home. Even he'd be ashamed to be in the stands at that moment of time as a Manning. A big womp 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 has to go to Reggie Bush. Talk about a disaster week, huh? Not only does he give back his Heisman Trophy in good faith, back to the trust, but then in the following game, in the fourth quarter, he breaks his leg and he's out for 6 weeks. Well, that's how the cookie crumbles. Hey, I'm not feeling bad. He's got a Super Bowl ring and made a ton of money in college. And what is going on in Dallas and Minnesota, huh? Wow. 2 teams that had high expectations of winning their divisions, making it to the championship game, and even into the Super Bowl, are now 0-2. Statistically, only 4 teams have ever started off 0-2 and made the playoffs. But we all know what's really going on in Dallas and Minnesota. It's Brett Favre and Tony Romo. The only problem I really have right now is the fact that the Bears, with Jay Cutler, are 2-0. That's ridiculous. No way should Jay Cutler be looking as well as he is. He's the first best quarterback in the league. I don't know if you know that. Jay Cutler, who hasn't had a winning season since high school? Yeah, that Jay Cutler. Well, enough of the NFL. Shall we move into our league, boys and ladies? I didn't forget about you. I'm talking to you, Eric. Let's get up with the Best Player of the Week award. Hey, Big Ben's wingman. Who do you think that's going to be? Huh? If you said Houston's Matt Schaub, congratulations, you are a winner. That's right, Matt Schaub was predicted to get 39 points and then laid 90 on you. So congratulations, Tavares. The only difference between Peyton Manning of last week's 90 and Matt Schaub's 90 of this week, hey-oh, a W. Right on. Wasn't that the best icing the kicker ever? Let's get to that. That's how you ice a kicker. How crazy is that? You call a timeout, he makes the field goal. Comes back from the timeout, shanks it. Woo! They call it Bush League, but when it works, boy, does it look great. Let's go into the worst player of the week, and I think we've already touched on him a little bit, and that's right, it's Eli Manning. He missed out on 13 points, but you know what, folks? 13 points was vital this week as it cost 2 teams victories. Cyclone Cheesehead and 4th and 1 needed big game, not a big game, just an average game from Eli Manning, and he couldn't even produce that. Going into halftime, he had a big 0 on the board. So Eli Manning owes a big apology to 4th and 1 and Cyclone Cheesehead. Let's move on to the biggest blowout of the week, folks. Some team was not happy about being on this week last time because guess what? They turned it around, turned it up, and put the pounding on. You get in the bowl. Congratulations. Welcome. Way to make a big 180 there, huh? From being scored at minus 171 last week to plus 75 this week over the Angry Peons. Congratulations. Now, let's go to the biggest comeback of the week. I don't want to start any controversy, so I'm going to kind of break it down like this. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, JP, it should have been against you because you were up by the most when going into Monday night. And it's true. I was up by 45 points heading into Monday night's game against T. Luke Thrashers. And I'm not taking anything from T. Luke Thrashers' victory, except for the Pittsburgh's defense or the lack thereof of a Titans offense. Thanks, Vince Young. Thanks for the gifts. Appreciate it. But if you look at T. Luke's projected points between Drew Brees and Marquez Colston, he was projected to get 50 points. So he should have won that game in theory. Now, if you want to keep it like that, that's fine. But the award I'm going to give it to this week, and mind you, it pains me greatly to say this, but I'm going to give it to Ramonier Dixon over Cyclone Cheesehead. The reason why is because going into Monday night's game, Cyclone was up by 19 points, and Ramenier's Frank Gore was only projected to get 18, but put in 37 on to allow Ramenier to pass and win the game. So I think in all fairness, whereas the projection was showing that even if Drew Brees had just a normal game, Drew Brees was going to beat me, I'm going to give it to Ramenier because his team that one player had to step it up just a little bit. Well, that and Eli Manning, that didn't help at all, now did it? I'm going to give out a new award, and it's not an every week award. It's called the Minion of the Week Award. You got it, Minion from Despicable Me. I'm going to give it out from last week and this week. Last week it goes to Cyclone Cheesehead. Congratulations. Appreciate it. And this week it goes to the Savares. Now I know what you're thinking. You're trying to put the two and two together. How do these two teams win this award? How does anyone win this new award? Well, folks, it's quite simple. All I got to do is beat Big Ben's wingman, which shouldn't be hard. I've seen he's 0-2 and he doesn't look like he's anywhere ready to overcome and win a game. So for every time Eric's team is beaten, I'll be giving a Minion of the Week award. Alright. Now, usually this is where I'm going to put in the matchups of the Week 3 that we're going to be looking forward to. We'll get to those. Those are back there somewhere. That's actually a poster. But, over there somewhere in the future. What I'm going to talk about right now is the one thing that we're all talking about on the message board, and that is the scoring system. Now, I agree. The point scoring system is a little ridiculous for a completion for the quarterbacks, and also the progressive bonuses going on from 2, 5, and 7 for running backs, wide receivers, and quarterbacks. Now, most of us had a chance to preview the scoring before we walked into the season. And most of us had a chance to draft accordingly to that. And from my understanding and knowledge, none of us really did. So we all had an equal chance. Now, here's where my vision, or my point of view is going to come from, and it may surprise a few of you. I don't believe that we should change the horse in mid-race. Now, like I said, I agree the point system is unfair and heavy to the quarterbacks. But how many games would have been affected already if we do decide to change? How many teams lost that may have won because we take away the completions? How many teams won that should have lost if we did take away the completions and the bonuses? There's too many variables, too many ifs, and not enough ands. Going to the future, how would it affect games? Now, how fair is it if someone misses the playoffs, goes back and does the math and said, hey, I should have won this game, and I missed out on the playoffs? It'll cause too much controversy. Whereas if we stick the course and change the rules at the end of the year going into next year's league, those are things that we can do. So as of right now, my vote, and hopefully I can swing others, is to stay the course. I know some teams are going to get thumped, and there's going to be some games where the quarterback is just going to single-handedly take the team to the bank. But there's no reason to change it now, as there's just too many variables, like I said, and too many ifs. I'm not going to filibuster the league, so if all 11 of you decide you want to change it, far be it from me to stand in your way, and I will never just quit on it, and I'll be back next year, video blog and all. But in my honest opinion, as much as we don't like it, and as much as it sucks, I'm afraid that we are stuck with this rule until the end of the season and the beginning of next year. Well, enough of that. Let's move on to some big previews of next week, shall we? We got Ramenier Dixon versus T. Luke Thrasher 2. This is where I would say, can Ramenier stop T. Luke? But this is where I'm actually going to have to say, T. Luke, I hope you move on to 3-0. Another matchup is a bottom feeder versus a top feeder. We got the Angry Peons at 0-2 going against Cerveceros at 2-0. So can someone get their first win, or is someone going to continue on next week to be 3-0? You will find out, right? Well, folks, it's about that time. End of the video vlog. I'm going to put out something for you. If anybody wants to talk smack talk and want me to post something on the video, feel free to message me, and I will add it to this video. If you want another award or some kind of bonus, let me know. I'll put it on here. This is not as much as my blog as it is your blog. Disclaimer, I'm not going to put anything negative about me. Disclaimer 2, there isn't anything negative about me. Duh. What was I thinking? Well, anyways, I hope week 3 pans out better for some of you, and I hope week 3 pans out worse for majority of you. 4th and 1 and Big Ben's wingman, I'm looking at you. So until then, see you on the Fantasy Gridiron.